2025 Hyundai VGT race car in VR. Hello there everybody and welcome to OpenFed Gaming, where we play video games just for the fun of it. I am the OpenFed. We got a very special race today where we're driving in a 2025 Hyundai VGT car. We're driving in a World Touring Car 900 race at the Suzuka Circuit. We're doing 10 laps. 10 laps of high-speed racing. We started 20th of 20 cars and we started with the rolling start. Now, we know in 10 laps we're not going to be able to do that on one tank full of fuel, so we're going to have to chop it somewhere. And we can either go 7-3, 6-4, 5-5. If I got enough, I always prefer to do 5 and 5. And that way when you go in, even with the tire wear, if you've only got a third or a quarter, change the tires to at the same time. So the strategy is go as fast as you can, pass as many cars as you can before the 5 laps are up. But the very first part of that strategy is when you come around the first time, check to see where the entrance to the pit stop is. It'd be a shame if you wouldn't know where it is when you needed fuel. And at the same time, see if you can see where the exit is, so that when you come out of the pits and you don't do like the OpenFed did, step on it and promptly run into the wall, because you gotta take a turn when you come out. You gotta know what the track looks like, I suppose. I'm learning a little bit as I go along myself, and I got a long ways to go. Now the track is, the lap of the track is almost finished here, so we're going to take a look on the right hand side where the entrance to the pits would be, and it's about right over here is where you go in. And when you come along here in the straight section right near the end, on the right hand side you can see where the pit lane is, right on the right hand side right now. So you can see you got a little bit of a straight before you hit that corner, so be ready to brake for the top. Now, a lot of times the OpenFed forgets to count the laps. However, in this particular race with this car, we don't have such a problem, because if you look on the windshield on the left-hand side, you can see it says 15th and 02. We're in the second lap and we're in 15th position. We even know where we are, which is awesome. I just love that on the windshield. It really helps out. So now you know how hard you got to push it and how fast you start passing cars to see if you got to go a little harder. Now this section right here, if you come around the corner and you're right behind the guy, is just enough room to pass him if you're right behind him. Otherwise it's just too short. There's a few more places on the track, like right coming up here, where you can cut them on the inside if you're quick, because they always veer to the outside of the track and they leave room on the inside right here. So that's another section. But there again, you got to be close enough to them. Then the next section where it's a little bit easier to pass is right here. But be aware, they cut in towards the corner, and then when they come out of the corner, they cut back to the right hand side to get ready for the next left hand turn up here. So those are a few of the sections, and then we're almost at the end of the second lap already. By the grandstand, of course, is a nice straight section if you're not going in for fuel, where you could probably, if you're close enough behind them, pass 1 or 2 cars. Now, this yellow car is a little bit slower than most, and I believe he's going to drop off a little bit more even. But we're coming through here and we've made it into 10th spot. Now, the positioning, it changes. It's not much of a strategy. It's kind of hard to see, because when you don't have the heads on display like we got today, so it's going to really make a difference, you never know what position you're in, and everybody's got a different strategy. Everybody goes into the pits for fuel at different times. So with that thought in mind, you never really know where you are. But now that we have the counter on our windshield, when we go by the pit stop, if there's cars that are in front of us or in there, our data will update automatically when we go by them. But I'll mention that again when it happens, because it does happen later on in the race. Now the other thing to worry about is your tires. We don't know how much the tires are going to wear down. But regardless of that fact, when we go into the pit stop, we're going to change them anyhow, because there's no point, if you're in there and it only takes a few extra seconds, there's no point in racing on tires that are a quarter or a third worn, right? Because by the time you get to the end of the lap, end of the race, they're going to be half to 3/4 worn, and you might start spinning in corners. So let's change them when we go in for fuel. That is about the most important things to remember. Other than that, it's just use the full width of the track, because it really helps out in this particular race, because it's such a fast race. I tell you, when I first started racing, the ones that I avoided were these 10-lappers and the dirt races. I didn't care for them either. And these ones were so fast, it was hard to keep up and hard to get used to. But you know, I forced myself to play them. Well, forced. I endured. I continued to try, and they really started to grow on me. I've gotten a little bit better at them. I can win them now, and I can do a fairly decent job in driving. Like I was saying, flowing from side to side on the track really helps you not have to use your brakes quite as much, and it moves you up a little bit quicker too. So, you know, even if you have a race that you don't really care for, try it again. You might just change your mind, especially if you try it again in virtual reality with a headset. It's just absolutely fantastic. I don't drive in Gran Turismo any other way than with the headset. I mean, it's just like you're there passing that car, and now you're stuck behind these two guys. Now, these two guys they do like to block you out at times, and you gotta be careful of that, because it can get you into trouble, get you driven off the track or into an accident. And I'll tell you what I mean. I want to try and cut them on the inside here, but you notice the car in front cut me off. Now I can't even get by the other car, and they do it to me again over here. But that's okay, because we just push them a little bit to see where they're going to go, and then you can see the reactions. You see now he's going to do it again, which is all right, because we are in 6th place and we're just finishing our 4th lap. So we got one more lap to do, and then we'll go in for fuel. And I love watching these guys in front of me as they are battling for whatever position they're battling for, I guess 5th and 4th, I guess. And as we're coming around the corner here, we're going to take care of these guys real quick on this straight section. Get rid of him. He was a little bit chaotic for me. And this guy too. We might as well just get by him, get this 5th lap done, and then we can get in, get some fuel and see what our tires look like. Now, there's going to be times when you're going to be racing and there's going to be no cars on the track, of course, depending upon who's gone into the pit stop and who hasn't. And there again, we're in 4th place. We got 3 cars in front of us, and they might be quite a ways ahead of us, so you might not even see them. So all you can do is try to go as fast as you can. Push it a little. Don't push it too much, because you don't want to spin out or run off the track or overshoot the corner. This corner coming up here, I am famous for overshooting it. I do all right, but later on I get a little bit too fast coming around that corner, and it doesn't, well, I catch it in time, so it's all right. But you got to be aware of that. You got to be aware of the corners where you could be overshooting or spinning out. Now we don't seem to be getting any closer to those 3 cars in front of us. And our 5th lap is getting pretty close to being done here. So, well, we're just going to keep ripping. Like I said, use the full width of the track and just keep that speed up. This is an absolutely awesome car to drive. Really great traction, really holds well to the track. You know, as long as you brake a little bit, like on this particular corner coming up. Right here you brake a little, and then you go back on the pedal again. And you push it through the corner, and it works great. Absolutely fantastic. And as we're coming around the corner here, we're going to be looking for that pit entrance. Just slow her down a little bit. There we go. All right, we came in 4th. Looks like the next car in front of us like 20 seconds ahead of us, so that's quite a distance, especially at the speeds that we're driving. The tires are about a third of the way, maybe a little bit less, so yeah, good chance to replace them. Let's go, boys. Let's get the new tires on, fuel her up. These guys are fast. Now remember, when we come out of the pits, straight and then a turn to the right. So be ready for that. Now we came out 8th place. We got 7 cars that we got to pass. And car number 1, 2, 3 are quite a bit ahead of us. But you got to remember, car 1, 2, 3 probably haven't gone in for fuel. So sooner or later they're going to have to go in for fuel, and that's when we get a little bit closer to them again. In the meantime, we're looking for car number 7, and we could see him just ahead of us there, right there. And we just, my problem always was in races like this, I could see the car, and then I go faster to try and catch him right away so I can get by him. And that's the worst thing to do, because when you do that, that's when you overshoot these corners. You just take it easy, have a little bit of patience, and hammer down on the straight sections where you know you're not going to lose control. And then in the corners, slow down a little bit, because he's got to slow down too. You know, and sooner or later you're going to get closer like we just did here. And then right over here, like I said before, they tend to veer out to the outside a little bit, and they give you some, just squeeze by them. Just squeeze by them and hammer it. And now we got to look for the next guy. But there again, like I said, they're spread out across the track quite a bit. Now when we go by the grandstand, we're going to see if our position updates. Now if our position updates and it lowers from 7th to whatever, that's how many cars are in the pits, obviously. That's pretty easy to understand. We'll see that in a minute here as we're coming around the corner. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful race. Here's the pit. We'll see if that's going to update. Okay, well, it moved up to 5th, so we're in the 7th lap, and we're in 5th place. We only got 4 cars in front of us. Now you see, with the other vehicles that I drove, you didn't have that on the screen, so you had no idea where you were. So you kept racing as hard as you can, just to try and hope that you got to the front. Now we know where we are, which really makes a big difference in your driving style. Really changes the way you drive, because you can see car number 4 right there in front of us. And you know that in front of him is only 3 more. And you still got 4 laps to go. So, but don't let the lap counter fool you. You might have 4 laps to go, but boy, I tell you, before you know it, they're gone. It's not going to take long. Now we know when we get around this corner, we got that curved section where we can pass them on the inside, so we don't have to get too excited. And that's another thing, if you know the track and you know where you can pass, then you know you can sit behind them until you get there, as long as they go a decent speed. Because if they go abnormally slow, there's no point in staying behind them, you might as well pass them. Now we're down to the last 3 cars ahead of us, and we have no idea of knowing where they are. That's the only thing yet. If they could put something like that, maybe a track on the windshield so you can see where you are and where all the other cars are, that would really help out. And you would know how hard to push it. These guys could be 3/4 of a lap ahead of me and I'd never catch them. It'd be way too far. But we're going to find that out soon enough, because we're coming up here on lap number 8. And it's only 3 laps left to go. We see a couple of cars there in front of us. So we caught up to somebody because we're finishing our 7th lap. There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them there. We caught up to 2 cars. So car number 3 and car number 2, but we can't see car number 1. Okay, well, let's catch up. Let's first try and get closer to this car number 3. See if we can sneak by him somewhere. Because these guys, they do like to slow down quite a bit around the corners like this, but not quite enough for you to power around the outside of them, and they don't leave you any room on the inside. only time they leave room on the inside is when they go around a corner like that, or like this one here, and then you can cut them on the inside. Now, I think I saw car number 1 there. Yeah, there he is. We can see car number 1 and 2 right now, and we're within striking distance. And there again, we still don't know if these guys have gone in for fuel. So we're in second place now, and we're going to be finishing our 8th lap soon, and that leaves 2 laps left to go. But we don't know, like I said, this car number 1, we don't know if he's gone in for fuel. I would assume he has, because if you're in lap number 8 and you're going to go into lap number 9 and you still don't stop in, I assume he stopped in somewhere around 6 or 7. So that's what we're going to assume. So with that in mind, we want to get by him and create a little bit of a buffer zone between him and us so that we can hopefully take the checker flag in this one. See, he didn't stop. I can't see them waiting until the last lap to get fuel. I can't believe that. Unless he had enough fuel for the whole race. That could be too. Now the only thing that could stop us now from winning the race is if we run off the track, we spin out, and we take too long to get back on. Car number 2 and or 3 passes us. Or if we run out of fuel. Well, we're not going to run out of fuel. And we're not going to drive chaotic, and we're not going to drive off the track. So we're going to try and go a little bit slower and just keep it a little bit cleaner. And the only other obstacle we're going to have on the track is any car from the race that we would have lapped. Ooh, now see there, I overshot it a little bit. And managed to pull it back in. So I still make the same mistakes in the same corners at times on different race days, you know, but they're still there. So I'm by no means a professional race car driver in real life. I'm just a Gran Turismo 7 champion. Yeah, I do my best. That's what I am, and I have as much fun as I can. And to me, it is very, very enjoyable. The OPA-Fed fun factor for this race is through the roof. This is absolutely awesome. And it's a race that I probably wouldn't have enjoyed as much a year ago. But now I love it. Let's just hope it doesn't rain before the race is over, because that could spoil the whole race for me. That would be horrible if you don't have wet tires on and it rains in the last lap. Now this little yellow car, we passed him once before, so we've already lapped him, but he was really slow. And there's a couple other ones that are really slow. And that's the only other challenge you're going to have on the map now is cars that you lap. You know, they're going to be like, you could almost call them pylons on the road for you to try and navigate through, you know. Same as this one here, because they don't go very fast and they tend to slow you down. You don't want car number 2 catching up to you just because these guys slow you down. So when you have an opportunity like this, you sneak by them. And that's the best way to do it. So it's a challenge, and that's okay. It's part of the game. I really enjoy that part. And there's probably not much I don't enjoy about driving in VR, except for overshooting the corners like that one there again. I tell you, it just, you know, it's maddening sometimes. You do the same thing over and over again, and you go, why do you keep doing that? Anyhow, we stayed on the track. We managed to save it. We were coming around. We're catching up to another car that we've lapped, but we're in the 10th lap, and we've got less than half a lap left to go. So I don't think car number 2 is going to have a chance to catch us anymore. This has been absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed this race, and I hope you did too. Hopefully maybe you picked up some pointers out of it by watching it, and that'd be great. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. And we got some really good videos coming up, races and some other videos. If you don't want to miss out, think about hitting that subscribe button. Until the next time, when we hopefully see you again at OPA-Fed Gaming real soon, we hope that you have a great day, You've been racing in a Hyundai with the Opafet.